We're seeing now Beit Baruch Daf Samach Dalet Maseches Peah. And I'm Shilton Hillel. Where do we know that Kerem Revai you have to redeem it? Where do we learn no Hillel? So this goes according to the Shitta that you do not learn out from Maaser Sheni. There is such a Shitta that Shammai says Ein lechem ve'ein lebir, so you don't know anything from Maaser Sheni. The answer is Kodesh Hilulim, Kodesh Chilulim. Man Rabbanon ben Heilaches. Tanam Ibanikam Reblo, der Bishmol, im Gol Igalish me Maisroi, Chamishi Soy Yosef Ola Prat, Neta Revai in Yosef Ola Choimish. So in this pasuk is also merumas this fact that there is pidyon for Neta Revai. At the same time, there's no chaimish. So this goes along with this shit of Shammai that you do not learn out Maaser Sheni, Neta Revai from Maaser Sheni, and that's part of the Mishnah that is not in the chaimish in the beer means never. There's no chaimish in beer by Kerem Revai. We know Kedusha because Hilulim, yeah, we know Kodesh. That's a Tamatanina. So we had another malach that we know Kedusha. The more asked, how do we know Kedusha? And that then Maaser Sheni called it Kedusha. Kedusha also made of Kodesh Hilulim, Arei Kodesh, and then we know Chilul. So this is part of this hamshach of this shitta. I'm going to write here Leman de Yalaf, Leman de Leslie Zayrishover. Okay. Tamatanina. Mishnah Masechta Trumas. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer Ein Lanachri Kerem Revai. Yachom Amram Yeshloi. Machlekes in the Mishnah. If there's a din Kerem Revai in Eretz Yisrael, if a guy owns a vineyard. So the Gemara Omer Blaz Kenim Neta. The Mishnah means like this: Ein Lanachri Kerem Revai beSyria. You're talking about Syria. And doesn't mean Nachri. It's totally different meaning. That's not the point, Nachri. Because Nachri has no Kinyan Lafkiya from a Kedusha. The point is Syria. If that area has a din of Kerem Revai. So Rabbi Omar, Boinkum Rav Zeir B'Shem Blazer, Asi der Yudike B'Shamai, Yadai to the Rabbi. What does this mean? Samad B'Shamai Lamdin Neta Revai, Elam Maaser Sheni. When I tell him Maaser Sheni b'Shvius, the Chavas and Neta Revai Shvius, can be doing Lam the Neta Revai Ella Maaser Sheni. When I tell him Maaser Sheni b'Syria, because in Neta Revai b'Syria. Interesting idea. Where does this come? This shitta that there's no Neta Revai b'Syria. What's the makoyer of this halacha of Rabbi Yehuda? He answers, it's our Mishnah Shammai alibdei Rabbi. What did the Rabbi say? That Shammai does hold. You learn it from Maaser Sheni, and it has all the limitations of Maaser Sheni. And since there's no Maaser Sheni b'Shvius, there's also no Neta Revai b'Shvius. Or said there is Kedusha, but face value, it's all the kulas from Maaser Sheni get transferred to Neta Revai. So how about transferring this kula? There's no din Maaser Sheni b'Syria. That's the din. So there's also no din Neta Revai b'Syria. So this works out very well. This is in the same line of the Svara of Shammai, according to what Rabbi explains it. It's not exactly the same, because here we don't totally eliminate. You say you learn it from Maaser Sheni, but made it as zero in the Neta Revai and Shvius. Not true. There is kedusha. Here you want to say you learn it from Maaser Sheni, and you want to eliminate totally the kedusha of Maaser Sheni, of Kerem Revai, because of this so-called hekish. You makish Kerem Revai to Maaser Sheni. Shmuel Abba Boy. Aber Shammai on Lelom do Neta Revai le Maaser Sheni. Kamod atayim Meshayim Shvi kivos in the Shvis. The Chavos Shlish the Shvis Maaser Oni. If you're working with this Svara, again this Svara that you use all the kulas to find the Maaser Sheni, and you transfer it over to Kerem Revai. Basil doesn't do that. Basil says no. Just learn out the idea that there's Hillel, there's choimish, but you don't go into the details of say just my Sheni has a certain color. We'll use that color on Kerem Revai. But according to Shammai, you do say that's Svara. So how about saying there's no Maaser Sheni the third and the sixth year? There's no Neta Revai. Shvius in be Maaser Koliker. Schmidt, there's nothing. Interesting answer. Sort of Maaser Oni is here is like a exchange for Maaser Sheni. So it's something. It's related to Maaser Sheni. But Shvius is totally mufka from any kind of Maaser. That's why there's no Neta Revai. Chefeshal. Rabbi Glick only long the Neta Revai and the Maaser Sheni. When I tell you in Neta Revai is Syria. The was a long truest toida and truest Maaser. When I tell you in truest Maaser by midbar, the was in the truest Maaser the truest toida by midbar. You're asking a question. The same logic that you said you learn out from Neta Revai from Maaser Sheni, and whatever is not noig Neta Revai is not Maaser Sheni is not noig Neta Revai. So here, how about Trumas Toide? Where do you know Trumas Toide? From Trumas Maaser, Trumas Lach Metoide. There's no Trumas Maaser in the midbar. Should be no Trumas Toide in the midbar. The same type of svara. It has to be exactly the same like the one that you learned it out from that. You learned it out from Trumas Maaser, so it should be no Trumas Toide. No, it doesn't go that way. It's only meant to know the exact amount as 1 out of 10. They don't learn out any details from Trumas Toida. And it's Chayiv Yisrael b'Neta Revai el la'acha arba esr shana shev shekipshu shev shechilku. Amar Rabbi Chizda, Asi Rabbi Yisrael Rabbi Yehuda v'shittas Rabbi Yehuda avoy. Just like Rabbi Yehuda's father. Kamod Rabbi Yehuda Amar lo Allam Neta Revai el Maaser Sheni. When I tell you Maaser Sheni el arba esr shana wasn't Neta Revai el. It's Maaser Sheni. Everybody agrees that Trumas and Maaser started after 40 years. So we go with this principle that you learn out Neta Revai from Maaser Sheni with all the kulas associated, like no Syria. Same thing is not noig ba'arbas Shammai. Rabbi Yasa no, v'hu b'shittas b'noi. So he said no, it's not true. Girsa here is not so perfect, but it's trying to say that you cannot make these two things on the same level. Rabbi Yehuda agrees to his father, but his father does not agree to his son. Why? Syria made him a Yudalit, and Yudalit Shona made him a Syria. It means, how can you say a derives thing? Syria is the whole thing of the Rabbanon. So you say, okay, you learn out the kulas, just like Maaser Sheni is not like with Syria, the same Kerem Revai. But here we talk about derives. How can you use that hekish to be oiker, to uproot the din of Neta Revai in the 14 years? Siv, Shana Chamisha Zeichles Peah, basically I'm a ray at Kemois Peah Chamisha Peah Servias. Ma Peah Chamisha Labalam, a Peah Servias Labalam. It's a hekish that they hint you that the pairs of the fourth year, there is a solution. It's called pidyon. It's like just like chamishas, there's 100% laba'alim. Even Revius has a solution. He learns that it's hinting here. The pasuk is hinting you that laba'alim means to say that as a din of mom and hedyet. Because Rabbi Yehuda holds Maaser Sheni mom and bailam. That's the whole shas. And since we had already that Rabbi Yehuda also says you learn out Keren Revai from Maaser Sheni. He said even a kula, for example, Rabbi Yehuda is going to say that it's not like Syria. So we can say that they both agree to this fact that has din mom and bailam. Basically, learns it out from this drasha, ma peres chamishi lebailam, and Rabbi Yehuda learned it out from the hekesh of Maaser Sheni, and he holds. Everybody knows Rabbi Yehuda says Maaser Sheni mom and bailam. B'yami boikum Rav Zeir k'divrei mi shehu oisa k'nechasav. Different me shehuas. Ma sheyachai b'maisrus. Interesting question he's asking. We spoke about it at the beginning of this Mishnah that this should have been the first discussion in the Gemara and even the Mishnah, and the Gemara leaves it over all the way to the end. The question goes, a very, very simple question. Everybody should have asked the first moment. What is the halacha if Keren Revai is chai b'maisrus? Do we have to? What do we do with it? We just eat it as it is, or we have to be? The Mishnah talks about choimish, beer, everything. Hillel says yesh lechoimish. It sounds very strongly that it's like Maaser Sheni. Maaser Sheni is not chai b'maisrus. Maybe going to Shammai, and even more if you hold this kind of chasav. Mom and bailam, like these two shittas we just explained now, Rabbi Saul Lieberman and Rabbi Yehuda. So mom and bailam is a more svara to say that's chai b'maisrus. Means we see for a fact people eat Keren Revai, they make a pidyon, but they're not mafish to Maaser. He's using the same Svara that we just used so many different times already for different things, that Neta Revai is a hookish lamaiser. Yeah, we said all the things that all the kulas Maaser Sheni has, Neta Revai has. The Gaba Syria, the Gaba Yudalat Shanim, the Gaba that's not noig b'shviyas. Maaser Sheni is not noig b'shviyas. Neta Revai is not noig b'shviyas. So how about saying like this? Maaser Sheni is not chai b'maisrus. Neta Revai is also not chai b'maisrus. Maybe this minhag ha'olam goes like Shammai. So Shammai is the one that we just finished saying now. He goes all the kulas. Yeah, he does this shit that Rabbi said. Shammai says that's not noig b'shviyas because we learn out from, just like Maaser Sheni is not like, so he holds up this drasha that you learn out all the things Maaser Sheni has a kula, the same Neta Revai. But maybe we don't hold like this. And this Gemara is matche, yesh tzibur oisek b'Shammai. Come on. V'kolcha gam b'sil moide shloim Maaser Sheni. Yesh tzibur oisek b'Shammai. Can be. So don't say that the tzibur Abba b'chiyah b'shem b'yechel. Itzes Maaser Sheni b'Yerushalayim, Rabbi Meir, p'turim anachala. Rabbi Meir is the one that says Maaser Sheni Mammon Gavoya. Mammon Gavoya is understood. Everybody understands that if it's Mammon Gavoya, it's not Chayav b'chala. Rabbi Yehuda Chayav b'chala. Yehuda says Mammon Hedyet. According to Yehuda, if you have a dough of Maaser Sheni, you have to take off challah. So this has an effect. This idea, if it's Maaser Sheni going away, has an effect like Rabbi challah. Just learn now that the Rabbi Keren Revai zicher kula alma potem amaisrus. Even if you hold mom and hedyet, because you learn out from Maaser Sheni, it doesn't matter. But this is Rabbi Maaser Sheni. If it's Chayav b'chala, depends if Mama Gavaya Mama Hedyet. Everybody agrees. If you kneaded a dough, it's for sure Mama Gavaya, because nobody can eat it in Gevulin. It's only if you took the Maaser Sheni to Yerushalayim and then you made a dough out of it, or you bought a dough from the money of Maaser Sheni. Then there's a question if it's Mama Gavaya Mama Hedyet. He asked a question from Rabbi Yasser. As always, we fix this, make sure you don't understand that this is not Rabbi Yossi. The one that says it's Chayav b'chala, Ma'u shetahei chayeves beperet. So he's jumping from one subject to the next, but the idea here is if you hold that Maaser Sheni, Maaser Sheni Yerushalayim is Chayav b'chala, it means Maaser Sheni Mom and Hedyet. That's Shittas Rabbi Yehuda, and that's how we paskin. So we see that Mom and Hedyet has all the chiyuvim, the obligations. So how about Keren Revai that learns out from Maaser Sheni? You had Rabbi Yehuda holds like that. You learn Keren Revai from Maaser Sheni. Beit Shammai, maybe Hillel also like that. You learn not. So if so, maybe Keren Revai is Chayav b'peret because it's Mammon Hedyet. It's Mammon Hedyet. So what's interesting, we learn it from Maaser Sheni, and we'll say because of that it's Yesh Lechoimish, Yesh Lebir. That's what Basil says. On the other hand, Basil says Yesh Lechoimish, Yesh Lebir. Yeah, you learn out this halacha from Maaser Sheni. That's what they learn out. Keren Revai is kisht. But the question is, if Maaser Sheni Mammon Hedyet, so you should say just like Maaser Sheni is Chayav matnas kehuna chala, the same Keren Revai Chayav matnas aniyim. We have established already that Keren Revai is potter from Maasrus. Whatever reason it should be, we don't know why, but that's a fact. The word does like that. How about parrot? What do you ask me a question? The Mishnah says clearly, Shammai says, Keren Revai is Chayav b'peret. So we may call the Shammai. You think the same the Yehuda that says that it's Chayav b'chala, the Yehuda, that's all the Yehuda, the B'chayav Maaser Sheni b'chala. No, come on, this can't be connected, these two things. So, Baruch Hashem, we finished now two blat, 6D4 and 6D5. 6D4 and 6D5.